High on a throne of royal state, which far outshone the wealth of Ormus and of Ind, or where the gorgeous East with the richest hand showers on her king's barbaric pearl and gold, Satan exalted sat by merit raised to that bad eminence, and from despair thus high uplifted beyond hope aspires, beyond thus high instated to pursue vain war with heaven, and by success untaught his proud imaginations thus displayed powers and dominions, deities of heaven. For since no deep within her gulf can hold immortal vigor, though oppressed and fallen, I give not heaven for lost. From this descent, celestial virtues rising will appear more glorious and more dread than from no fall, and trust themselves to fear no second fate. Me, though just right, and the fixed laws of heaven, did first create your leader, next free choice, with what besides in council or in flight hath been achieved of merit, yet this loss, thus far at least recovered, hath much more established in a safe, unenvied throne, yielded with consent the happier state in heaven, which follows dignity, might draw envy from each inferior, but who here will envy whom the highest place exposes foremost to stand against the thunder's aim? Your bulwark and condemns to greatest share of endless pain, where there is no good for which to strive, no strife can grow up there from faction, for none sure will claim in hell precedence, none whose portion is so small of present pain that with ambitious mind will covet more. With this advantage then to union and firm faith and firm accord, more than can be in heaven, we now return to claim our just inheritance of old, sure to prosper than prosperity could have assured us, and by what best way, whether of open war or coveted guild, we now debate. Who can advise may speak. So basically, book 2 opens with Satan sitting on his throne, and he addresses his legion, his army, stating that he still hopes to reign over heaven one day. However, since they are now all fallen, he now has to kind of have that debate and decide whether or not he's going to go into an all-out war with heaven and with God, or if he is going to kind of be more subtle about it and which way is the better approach. With this, he then opens the floor to a debate to kind of hear everybody's side. And so there are people who come up and speak. And so the first was Malak, I'm not sure how to say it. He states that he is in favor of going to war with God because in his opinion, things can't get worse than they are. Next would then be Belial. Belial, he's very clever. He was not in favor of having an open war because he felt as though things could definitely get worse, and he felt as though it's not worth it to risk being burned in hellfire or chained by the burning lakes or whatever. He feels as though it's better to be an angel in hell than to be dead, because God in heaven would have that ability to kill him. Basically, there's the debate back and forth, and then Mammon speaks up and he says that it's impossible to defeat God. Even if he does forgive everybody, they'll still be slaves and still kind of be forced to pay tribute to him, which is 100% not worth it in their opinion. It's best to just remain angels and kind of build their own empire that could one day rival that of the empire of heaven, and then rather than having to go to war with them, lose, and then have to either die in hellfire or be like slaves and pay tribute to them. In my opinion, I feel as though Satan is kind of looking to see I feel like Satan truly does, like, he wants to reign over heaven, obviously. In this book specifically, I feel as though he's trying really hard to figure out like what the best way to go about that is and what's going to be the most effective way to do that. I feel as though he's trying to get the input of others around him to see what everyone else thinks is going to be the best idea. He kind of just wants to like fulfill that dream of like reigning over heaven, and he wants to build an empire and have an empire that like rivals that of God. And I feel as though that's something that would be a struggle for him, trying to figure out how to do that the most effective way, since that is something that he really wants to do. And yeah.